It's time we start dissecting that useless probable cause affidavit piece by piece.
Kohberger allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false. You knew that was false. For anybody who had never heard that before, that question is now planted into them, unqualified representation that Mr. Kohberger stalked one of the witnesses, and that's false. We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122. But we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Now, we've talked about this latent shoe print for quite a while now, especially since the information from the Idaho State Police Forensic Lab came out claiming in their own words, in their own writing, in their own analytical reports, that not only was this print not actually analyzed, but they have it written down in the case file that they believe it had nothing to do with the crime itself. Let's go ahead and go over the documentation that proves just how wrong all of their information initially was. As you can see here, the PCA laid out this latent shoe print as being part of the suspect's path of travel. It talks about how it was located during the second processing of the crime scene by ISP forensic teams and that they used Amido black. You'd think that this thing would have spell checked for them, but you know what? We've talked about that for 3 years now. Let's move on. Notice again how it says, this is consistent with Dylan Mortensen's statement regarding the suspect's path of travel. Now let's look at the date that this was signed. 12/29/22. You're probably thinking, okay, we know that. What does it matter? Well, that's because the original report that was written by Payne that we found when we got the Moscow Police Department supplemental records after the plea agreement shows that his first actual write-up about this situation, his involvement, him walking through all of the things, wasn't even written until 12/4 of 2022. At approximately 1600 hours on 11/13/22, Sergeant Blaker and I responded to 1122 King Road to assist with scene security processing. Just like the PCA, this is the original document that he started drafting up when it came to just his report on what he did that day. And if you notice, as he's talking about going all the way around the house, they even talk about Dylan's room and stopping right there and noticing how it doesn't look like anything happened in that room, how it looked like there was no struggle, how there was no blood. Right here, Officer Smith then took me through the house and pointed out Dylan Mortensen's bedroom, which was situated on the southeast side of the second floor of the house. Mortensen's bedroom door opened to the kitchen area as well as the staircase, which led to the third floor of the house. Upon my brief visual inspection, Mortensen's room was disheveled, but did not appear to have any blood or evidence of a struggle within. But when it comes to the actual probable cause order, that he talks about seeing Ethan inside of Xana's room, and that's like the only part about Ethan that's even in there. And then when it starts talking about how he followed Officer Smith upstairs from Xana's room, there's no mentioning whatsoever about him stopping and looking at Dylan Mortensen's bedroom at all. Now I'm going to show you exactly why the dates matter here. And keep in mind again, the PCA for Kohberger's arrest was signed by Payne on 12/29/22. His original report, for some reason, was not even written down, according to the dates, until 12/4/22. When we got the 2,356 pages of Idaho State Police forensic records, there was information about this latent shoe print. And this is when we found out that that latent shoe print's story, the lore, shall I say, was more than completely false. They didn't even take into consideration anything regarding this print in way of trying to figure out where it came from, what the substance actually was, none of those things. And the proof is right here in black and white. This starts on page 323, and it is from Tara Martinez, who works for the Idaho State Police Forensic Lab, and the dates that she went through all of these items and did her scientific analysis on everything was from 11/20 to 11/28. 2022. So the unimportance of this latent shoe print was well documented a month prior to the probable cause order being signed. Let's go down to where the latent print is actually mentioned in this first few pages. And it says right here, L4 is a possible shoe impression, but that it was not analyzed. Now, we've seen these evidence logs before. We've been looking through all of these charts for years now. If we go down here to where L4 is, you can see that it's a potential shoe wear. I don't know why they put it like that. That's weird verbiage, but whatever. Outside threshold of east bedroom on floor 2. That's Dylan. Now you can see here that they used Amido. See the D? Yeah, they used Amido black right here. And they took a photo comparison. There was a previous discussion of the diamond patterned footprint belonging to an officer. Additional potential footwear impressions, diamond pattern, not photographed due to previous discussion of officer footprints. But as you can see, this says L4, and it is the threshold of the east bedroom on floor 2. That's Dylan's room, and it says that it's been photographed. Okay, so this is the threshold of Dylan's door right here. This right here is where the diamond patterned footwear impression actually is. But also notice that there's something right here, and they don't photograph this in way of doing anything specific to it. All they do is photograph the diamond impression on that one side. They never go over there and label that other piece. They don't take photos of it. They don't do anything at all with it. Look at all of these photos of just that one impression. And again, it's here, and they never do anything with this one. So when it talks about additional potential footwear impressions that are diamond patterned that were not photographed because there were previous discussions of them belonging to a cop, okay, then they have how they took pictures right here of this one, and you see here that there is a non-photographed impression right here, right next to the diamond print impression. Does that not look like it could be a step? So if this indeed right here is the one that they're claiming belonged to an officer, and this is the one that they're photographing and trying to say that it belongs to whatever they're trying to claim it belongs to, then why wouldn't this one also be involved? That doesn't make any sense. That makes legitimately no sense whatsoever. And you know why it continues to be just as irrelevant? Well, I've already told you. They already placed a note in here that L4, which is the possible shoe impression, was not analyzed. Now, in another portion of the forensic records, there are email threads where there seems to be a lot of confusion about where the tire and shoe impressions went, where they were supposed to be sent to, who was supposed to have them, and whatnot. I did not include those regarding the shoe portion of that email in this video because I believe from context clues and other things going on in other case facts that these impressions, so say, might actually be the ones out in the snow outside that we've seen on camera and heard them speak of. And we're going to do all of that in a separate video. So let me go ahead and wrap this up, and then you guys can tell me your opinion. I don't understand how they were able to use something in an arrest order that was not only not analyzed per the forensic records weeks and weeks before the order itself was even written, but also when it comes to the print that's next to it, that could easily be someone taking a step, and that other mark is being labeled according to the handwritten documents as an officer's print, then how would the one that looks like a step also not be considered an officer print? And if it's not being considered an officer print and you really thought that it was something important, why was it left unanalyzed yet used in the report? You guys understanding why this is insane to me? Let me know what you guys are thinking though down in the comments. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out, subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already, and please don't forget to make sure that the notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives. See y'all.